Duke, North Carolina tonight, 9 Eastern. Got us thinking about our all-time Duke team. How about the NCAA's all-time leader in assists, Bobby Hurley? Started at point guard for a pair of national championship teams. Most outstanding player in the 1992 finals. At the other guard, Duke's all-time leading scorer, Johnny Dawkins, 1986 Naismith Player of the Year. Scored in double figures, an NCAA record 129 times. At one forward, Danny Ferry, ACC Player of the Year in both his junior and senior seasons, also became the first player in ACC history to finish with 2,000 career points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists. At the other forward, Christian Laettner, first player ever to start 4 consecutive NCAA Final Fours, led Duke to the NCAA championships in both 1991 and 92. And at center, G-Mo, Mike Gminski. Gminski, number 3 on the school's all-time scoring list with over 2,300, still holds the school's all-time rebounding record. Let's go to our all-North Carolina team. Phil Ford, Carolina's all-time leading scorer, over 2,200 points, earned first-team all-ACC honors, 76, 77, 78. At the other guard, Michael Jordan, Naismith winner, John Wooden Award winner in '84, unanimous first-team All-American selection in '83 and '84. Went on to have a pretty good pro career. At forward, big game James Worthy remains the only Tar Heel named MVP of ACC Tournament, NCAA Regional, and Final Four in the same season. At the other forward, Antoine Jamison led the ACC in scoring and rebounding in his junior season, named the ACC Player of the Year, as well as Player of the Week, a record 7 times. And at center, it's Big Smooth. Sam Perkins, an Olympian in 1984, owns North Carolina records for career rebounds, blocks, and ranks 2nd in points. Here's our poll.
Well, there's still about 2 minutes left in that game, but pretty much decided well in command. We, of course, will keep you up to date, let you know what the final score is, but we don't want you to miss the tip of the game between North Carolina and Duke. The huge one in the ACC is coming up.
The tents of Shesheskeville are empty. Cameron Indoor is full. 8 miles down the road. You think they're not interested on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill? I'd say they are.
Rivalry. Sports' ultimate dividing line. How connected are you to generations of tradition and pride? How deep is your passion? Through tears and triumphs, rivalries reveal it all. Don't be left on the fence.
There is nothing, my friends, like Duke and Carolina. The best rivalry in all of college sports.
Here comes Worthy. Worthy will take it in.
Hurley leans on and got it. Andy's foul. Here comes Bricky again. Oh! Simpson, dude, Dr. Root, look at the Wackos. They love it. Stackhouse. Oh, America, are you serious? They got a chance. He lets it fly.
This is one guy you got to try to find. Gets it off. Ties the game. Duhon. What a try by Duhon. Here comes Felton. 4 seconds to go. Can they win it? Oh, unbelievable.
Whose side are you on?
You pick a side in this part of the state. Cameron Indoor Stadium, ACC Wednesday, presented by Staples. What a matchup, number 2 against number 8. It's all part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco Systems. You can see the importance of this game. The 218th meeting between North Carolina and Duke. It's a battle for the top spot in the ACC. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler with Dick Vitale. You got to choose your blue when you're in this part of the country. Partner, we've been here many, many times, but now for the first time in 4 years, 2 top 10 teams. This is a real deal.
Well, North Carolina's for real again. They have a super offensive team. They are so explosive. They can beat you in many ways. They have balance offensively and a great player coming off the bench. Certainly a Marvin Williams. On the other side, you look at Duke. They got the big 3. Reddick, Ewing, and Sheldon Williams. It'll be a must that Sheldon Williams stays out of foul trouble. He has to stay out of foul trouble.
All right, well, this place can take a lot out of you. That's why we're not in our sport coach. Both coaches have not felt that well as of late, but they're two stars in their own right. That's why they're in our Star Watch.
Well, Roy Williams certainly heading to the Hall of Fame ultimately, and Mike Krzyzewski, who is a Hall of Famer and would be a great choice to be the Olympic coach in 2008.
Let's take a look at our FedEx starting lineups and who the guys, Coach Williams and Coach K, have chosen to take the floor first. Felton and McCants in the backcourt, Manuel, Williams, and Sean May up front. Ewing and Reddick. Reddick the leading scorer in the conference. Dockery, Randolph, and Williams, who's playing as well as any guy in the post in the country right now for the Duke Blue Devils. This is the 218th meeting. Duke has won 14 of the last 16 games. They've won 7 straight here on their home floor at Cameron Indoor, but North Carolina has the overall lead, 123-94. We got a 4-person team. We've almost got our own starting 5.
Yeah.
Doris Burke, Jay Billis are both with us. They'll be joining us as we go. But we're just about set for one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. And one of the all-time great rivalries in college basketball, obviously. It's Duke, it's North Carolina, and we're ready to go.
You know, I'm biased, Brad, and I believe it's the greatest sports rivalry, certainly in college sports. You think about Kentucky, Louisville, Ohio State, Michigan in football, but this is so unique and so special. Just listen to the passion, the intensity. The place is rocking. I mean, it's been unreal. We've been here for over 2.5 hours.
Mike Wood throws it up, along with Leslie Jones and Brian Kersey. There are officials, and they could have something to do with how this game goes as well. Will they let them play physically or not? Duke with a steal. Carolina gets back, hustles back defensively, and the loose ball, everybody going to the floor in the opening moments, and that shows you how bad everybody wants it.
Well, a key player for Duke has to be Daniel Ewing. He, in the last 2 weeks, has not played to his level of play. He's going to have to be superb, not get in foul trouble. And on the interior, a great matchup with Sheldon Williams and certainly Sean May.
Two guys that are friends every week of the season, every week of the year, except this week. Down low on the baseline, the double team. Randolph missed the shot on the turn. Here comes Carolina and Felton. And knocked away from Felton. Carolina, 2 trips down court, and they turned it over twice.
Very important to try and make North Carolina play a 5-on-5, Brad. That's what Wake Forest was able to do, and that's why they were able to survive and get a win at home. If they get numbers on you, they're the most explosive offensive transition team in America.
Certainly the pace of the game will dictate who wins it. Way outside is Reddick, and he knocks down a 3.
What a player this kid has become. Not just a jump shooter. He's always facing somebody in his face.
And now the steal. 3rd turnover in 3 trips for Carolina. Pull-up jumper for Ewing. And the rebound comes off to North Carolina quickly down court. Battle on the baseline. Out of bounds to Duke.
I think it's very important for Duke to really be a little bit more patient offensively. If it's an up-and-down tempo and a track meet, it becomes an Indianapolis raceway. The edge goes to North Carolina.
Or in this part of the state, at least NASCAR. 3-0 Duke. Early going. Double team and a steal by Felton. So Duke turns it over for the first time. They pack it inside. Work it to May from 15, and Sean May scores.
You know, you talk about great post players today. We have so many in college basketball. When you think about May and Williams here, Eric Williams at Wake Forest, Channing Frye down there, does an outstanding job in Arizona, and Andrew Bogut, great post player from out of Utah.
Reddick has it swiped away. Carolina with a chance to lead. They come up short as McCants can't get it inside, but a foul is going to be on Duke.
And that's where they usually excel in transition.
Those of you that have been watching the Louisville-Memphis game, we welcome you to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Sold out, obviously, the hottest ticket in town, and that includes President Bush coming into Raleigh tomorrow. It's 3-2 here in the early stages. North Carolina ranked number 2, Duke ranked number 8. Block shot inside. Back come the Blue Devils. Ewing for 3. And it goes.
They need that from Ewing. They got to get some confidence out of him. The landlord inside is a shot blocker, Sheldon Williams. The Randolph block shots well as...
Here's Felton, who picked up his dribble in a little bit of trouble.
Right now they're making them play 5-on-5.
Carolina's turning over for the 4th time, Dick.
They're doing a great job forcing them to play 5-on-5.
The no-look pass. Randolph finally finds the handle. He's double-teamed, but he forces it up there, and the rebound comes off to Sean May. Last touched by North Carolina. Let's check in with Doris Burke.
Brad, the dizzy spell Coach Krzyzewski suffered in Saturday's game against Georgia Tech led to a series of tests. EKG, blood pressure, heart monitor, you name it, all checked out fine. He said it's been a very taxing season requiring a huge emotional investment. He said obviously it was a scary seeing him going down. He was far more concerned with the reaction of those closely associated with him on the distaff side.
That was the scene last Saturday against Georgia Tech. And a whistle and a foul. Going to be on Duke. It's going to be on J.J. Redick. Now, Mike told us in the locker room before the game, he said the Georgia Tech game was a game we had to have. We couldn't come into North Carolina on a low note, on a losing note. And he said we put so much into that, and so did he, that he thought that was part of the cause of the fact that he took a little nap on Coach K court there.
Well, he's had to work so hard with this club, getting the most out of his people.
Block shot by Williams.
I'll tell you, Williams has become such a factor. His numbers over the last 7 games are scary. 20 points a game, 12 rebounds a game, and 4 block shots a game.
That is his 72nd block of the year, and an easy one inside for Randolph.
And J.J. Redick created that. The defense rotated to Redick. He found the open man. He is becoming a complete player.
Duke up by a half dozen in the first 3.5 minutes. Long three from McCants off the front of the iron. May trying to clean up. And it's Williams who snatches down the rebound. The leading rebounder in the country, 12 a game.
The key thus far early in the first 4 minutes, North Carolina's only had 1 fast break opportunity.
Jay Billis joins us as well. He's played in this building, but he knows that North Carolina's a tough, scrappy team, kind of like Duke, Jay.
Well, Brad, I think the key to this game is going to be which team values the ball better. Both these teams are explosive in scoring, but the team that gets on the floor after loose balls ultimately could be the one that wins it. Last year when the game was on the line, J.J. Redick and Duke got on the floor while North Carolina bent over at the waist, but this is more of a blue-collar North Carolina team. They are tougher mentally and physically. When the ball's on the floor, I think North Carolina will be there as well this year.
A foul on Marvin Williams, who just checked in. Marvin Williams for Roy Williams in his 2nd year in North Carolina, 17th year overall. 1-5 record against Duke, and you know how bad he wants this as well. This is what these two teams, this is why they signed with these schools to play in this game. Let's be honest.
I tell you, it's very tough to describe the unbelievable intensity that's on the floor. You can't describe it. It's incredible. You feel it up here in the booth where you and I are. There's no 2-man game here. They got great guard play with Ewing and Redick. Always have a chance to win when you're superb on a perimeter.
Double team down, and they work it around the perimeter, and Felton might come up with a steal. Ball picked up. Shot clock under 10 now.
They missed Redick. He was wide open. He couldn't believe it, how wide open he was.
Dockery, baseline drive into the tall timber, and he did draw a foul.
He's starting to put some points on the board now, Dockery, something he didn't do early in his career.
I think in most cases it's pretty friendly.
Go back to Durham.
They do smell particularly off, right?
We just have more about us.
They're a little team, but
Yeah, they're a little I predict a blowout tonight.
It is beyond me why anyone would ever be a Duke fan.
You got to choose your team, and then you got to choose who you sit around, because that open gap right there, those guys, some of those guys probably were in the tents of Krzyzewskiville, and they probably don't smell that well because it gets a little damp out there. They were complaining about kind of the swamp that was around some of the tents in the last couple of days. There's been a little bit of rain, and there's been a little bit of partying, so there's a little bit of mud out there.
Look at these Blackos. These are 1,500 on their SATs. Are you serious? 1,500 on their SATs. I couldn't believe it. I got rejected at Duke, and I had 1,500.
Yeah,
500,
750 and 750. Okay.
No, I did it 3 times.
It's 3 years. I thought it was only 2 for you. Both free throws go for Sean Dockery, and it's 10-2.
Free throw line could be big for Duke. They really go to the line quite a bit when you look at them during the course of the year.
McCants on the drive, rejected, but he's fouled. Would have been another block shot for Sheldon Williams.
Talking about Duke, another major factor, as Jay said, they got to protect the basketball and be selective with their shots, because if they're not, they'll have trouble in terms of transition. If they're selective and they really protect the basketball, it equates to good defense because it helps your defense.
Leading score at 16.1. Rashad McCants hits the free throw. North Carolina, though, only 1 out of 8 from the floor and 5 turnovers. So that echoes what Dick was talking about. They're so far not taking care of the basketball, and they're not shooting well.
North Carolina averaging 92.2, shooting 51.4%, third in the nation behind Utah State and Utah.
They were the #2 team as far as point differential, right behind Louisville. That will change after what we just saw
what a shot
with Memphis and Louisville tonight.
What a shot. Rick Pitino losing to Memphis.
Ewing, that one pulled out of midair by May, and now it's an open court race. McCants just lost the handle, turned it over, and back comes Reddick.
And they had an easy layup.
Sloppy right now both ways, but both teams have turned it over.
Trying to force the action, trying to create plays that aren't there. Got to be a little bit more patient offensively.
Sean May, that's a strong move. He should touch it virtually every time they're in a half-court game, I would think.
He's got great hands. Well, if you go inside to him, you go inside, outside, and you become very effective.
Duke by 4, 14-40 to go first half.
One of the reasons these two clubs are very good is that they have post presence. A lot of teams do not have post presence.
Here's the lob, backdoor, great pass by Dockery to Ewing.
Great look by Dockery, but what a back screen that created the opportunity.
Felton hurries it down court and knocks it off the glass.
Well, down at Chapel Hill, it's everybody loves Raymond. Certainly one of the blue chip point guards in America. So unselfish, loves distributing the rock. Hey, Brad, one of the things they've done really well, they lead the nation in assists. There's something in buying into Roy Williams' system about share the basketball.
Over 21 assists per game is tops in the country, as Dick said.
The first 2 years, they were kind of a selfish basketball team.
And they admit it now.
Yeah.
Dockery, shot clock winding down, and he lost the handle and out of bounds. Both teams will go to their bench. Let's take another look at that backdoor cut and the screen Dick was talking about for the slam by Ewing.
They did a great job setting up a rear screen that created the opportunity. And they throw that diagonal right over the top. A poor job by North Carolina communicating. You got to communicate on the floor about those screens as those screens come up.
So the early hectic pace is calmed just a bit, and Carolina can cut it to 2 if they score. And McCants does with an up and under. Big time move there.
But I'll tell you what, I think he's as good offensively as any guard in America, in that he's an inside-outside kind of performer. He has great post-up ability.
He really does, and he's shot 46 three-pointers. And Duke turns it over for the 5th time. So Carolina with 6 turnovers, and Duke now with back-to-back miscues in the front court have turned it over 5 times.
Well, if you're going to turn it over, at least that's not a turnover that's going to lead to a layup on the other end.
Good point.
Good, tough man-to-man defense, typical of Duke. Let the ball, pressure it.
Deep 3, and he knocked it down.
He had 25 here as a freshman. Last year, had 4 points and struggled.
Carolina's first lead. Felton hit one from about 24. He's got 5 points. Carolina's got its first advantage.
And they were jumping with joy down at Franklin Street. I think they're a little excited over this team.
Here's Ewing. Cut off by Felton. Randolph's putting it on the floor. There's too much dribbling right now by Duke, by guys that shouldn't be.
Got to get more ball movement.
Ewing, baseline jumper. Rebound snatched out of there by Jawad Williams.
So underrated when you talk Jawad Williams, shooting 60%.
Look at the speed of Felton.
He's sensational. I tell you, you talk about great point guards, you better include his name. He's a Thomas Edison. He's a creator and innovator. He does things coaches can't diagram.
I thought maybe Mike Krzyzewski was going to call a timeout there. He's going to go to his bench, but no timeout as now Duke trails by 3.
Remember this, Duke players, their big 3 play over 35 minutes a game. At North Carolina, the guy that leads them in minutes is Felton at 29.
DeMarcus Nelson, one of the guys off the Duke bench in there right now, and A whistle and a foul as Reddick was dribbling through traffic. Jackie Manuel picks up the foul. We've got a timeout, 11:56 to go in the first half. Carolina on a 13-2 run, and the Tar Heels lead by 3.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Staples. That was easy. And in part by Cisco Systems. This is the power of the network. Now. And Bass. Reach for greatness.
It was all smiles before the game, and Roy Williams can smile a little bit now as his team started off 1 for 8. They've gone 5 for 5 since. They're the top shooting team in the ACC, and now they've got the lead.
They're doing a great job, North Carolina, on J.J. Reddick. Manuel's playing him with that great size. He's only had 1 shot.
There goes the second, and it's short.
And that wasn't an easy shot. I mean, Manuel was right on him as he made that curl move.
Off balance, and he was fading away a little bit. Jawad Williams misses badly. Back comes Duke. Carolina 13-2 before that timeout. That's how they got the lead in a span of less than 2.5 minutes. That shows you what they can do in a hurry. Reddick is fouled. This one's going to be on Manuel, and that'll be his second. So Jackie Manuel, the guy that has drawn the assignment now of staying with J.J. Reddick tonight, and picks up his second foul, and that could be key. And you go ahead and wipe it down because it's almost 80. It's about 10 degrees warmer than it was when we tipped off. That's why Dick and I have decided sport coats are for a different day. Reddick outside, way off that time.
I tell you, you got to be selective with your shots. I know he's really got a license to shoot anywhere, but you got to be selective. Jackie Manuel's right up in his face.
And that's another battle that's heating up between those two. And I'm talking about face-to-face.
Wow. Look at that, Brad. Look at the intensity. Look at the emotion. Great role player. Look at him playing. His role is to defend, and he knows it. He's right up in Reddick. Just like Duke over the years had Tony Lang. Remember they had Billy King, who was a terrific defensive player. You can't have all stars. You can't everybody wants to shoot the basket.
Tommy Amaker was a defensive player of the year.
Our guy Jay Billis was very tough, very physical. He doesn't know this, but I know it. He had a double-double once against Carolina.
They were chanting his name before the ball game tonight.
10 and 11.
The only problem was all the guys that were chanting Jay's name in the student section weren't born when Jay played here. I just got my dig in on Billis. Sorry about that, Jay.
Hey, they weren't born when you were playing either.
Good point.
I wasn't born when you were playing.
May's got his 6th rebound, and that's more than the whole Duke team right now. But another turnover, and then the foul to Boots. Check in with shooting to Jay.
Guys, Duke does a very good job of isolating the floor and overloading, and that can be very hard to guard on this one play. You can see they get all the action moving to the right side, and you can see there's going to be a little screen set. J.J. Reddick is going to clear the side, and Daniel Ewing going to go all the way to the basket and get an easy lob. There's got to be better communication, as Dick Vitale said. Somebody's got to step in there and bump that cutter.
Yeah, you got to bump the cutter, you got to step out, and you got to communicate.
Williams trying to back in on May. Up and under with the left hand. What a move.
Great move inside, but might have gotten away with a little walk. I thought he lifted his pivot foot, but it was a sensational move. He's become so effective in that 3-second area. What he's done really well is he hasn't gotten in foul trouble.
On the other end, Sean May comes down and says, all right, buddy, you got me on one end. I'm going to take it on the outside on the other end, and Carolina maintains a 3-point lead. We approach the midway point of the first half. This is number 2 North Carolina at number 8 Duke. The 218th meeting between these rivals. Only 8 miles separates their campuses. Brad Nessler, Dick Vitale, Dorisburg, Jay Billis with you at Cameron in the 9,300 and change of our closest friends in a sweat box in Durham, North Carolina. Reddick bumps. Going to be on May, I thought, maybe not.
Well, the one thing you want to keep J.J. Reddick off that free throw line. We know how automatic he is. He's the greatest free throw shooter in the history of basketball. His career numbers 355 but 379. To me, that's a key. You must keep him off that line.
He's been sensational again this year, as he always has been. 95% free throw shooter a year ago. He's cooled off. He's 110 out of 118 this year. That's 93%. That's still good enough to be best in the country.
Hey, when he went 7 for 10, we joked about it. They start chanting here, fix the rim, fix the rim, fix the rim.
With more on Redick, let's check in with Doris.
Guys, as a freshman, J.J. Redick averaged 3 free throw attempts a game. As a sophomore, it went up to 4. This year, over 6 per game. Why, guys? Gary Williams said it. He's now capable of going off the bounce with either the left or right hand. He said, forget about that guy just sticking threes and getting points that way. He has become a complete player and a tough guard, Dick Vitale.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If I pick my All-American team right now, he's my second guard. I haven't seen one better. He has become so versatile and certainly a candidate for National Player of the Year honors, as is Sheldon Williams.
You lead the ACC in scoring. You're in that area. McCants underneath, intimidated by Williams, got a piece of it. Back comes Duke, a chance to lead.
He ran a great backdoor cut, but the defense rotated over.
Williams turns.
He's got space.
Finds his man on the baseline.
Got to convert that. It was a great look by Williams.
DeMarcus Nelson couldn't hit the layup. And now back they come, and Carolina with Felton for 3. Who's going to get the rebound? North Carolina does. And it was Marvin Williams.
Marvin Williams is a big-time offensive rebounder.
Don't forget, on Friday night, NBA on ESPN starts with a Kia shoot-around at 7:30. Then at 8, Cleveland takes on Denver. That one available on ESPN HD. Then at 10:30, Dirk Nowitzki and Dallas take on Chris Webber and the Sacramento Kings. NBA Friday coast to coast on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Hey, what about Luol Deng? Gets 30 last night and 11 rebounds for Chicago. I like the composition of that team. They brought in all winners. Ben Gordon, Duhan, Deng.
Yeah.
All good kids. Scott Skiles and John Paxson deserves credit. Roy Williams has certainly brought back the spirit. The buzz in North Carolina basketball is back.
1-point lead. And he missed both free throws. Marvin Williams, maybe the best sixth man in the country and certainly one of the top freshmen in the nation, but he missed 2 from the line, and he was the number 4 free throw shooter in the ACC coming into this thing.
Well, maybe a little sidekick playing here in this environment.
No doubt. His first trip in here for him. When you come in here as a freshman, play for the first time, you might think you've been in a pressure cooker, and then you go, what, are you kidding me?
Well, Raymond Felton said that. He said, I can't explain to him what it's about until you feel it. But Marvin Williams is so special. He's magnificent. He is going to be the next great superstar in North Carolina.
Duke with an opportunity again to regain the lead. They've led by as many as 8 before Carolina went on a run. Williams and May. Williams just turns and fires. And the rebound off to the aforementioned Marvin Williams.
J.J. Redick never gets an open look. I was watching Manuel right in his face.
Sean May on the other end. It's run and gun right now in both directions. J.J. Redick's going to slow it down a little bit.
You got to be very selective when you go in transition against North Carolina. You got to pick your spots, off a turnover, off a long rebound. But you really try to want to make them play 5-on-5.
Cross-court pass, dangerous one, but he got it to Nelson. Nelson against May. Williams fights for the rebound. Short arms it going up, though. And now it's on the baseline. Duke turns it over.
Nelson averages about 4 rebounds a game. He's a kid that came in with a big reputation as a scorer out of California.
Carolina hangs on to its lead, but it's by only 1. 8 miles down the road. That's the top of the hill in Franklin Street. They're enjoying it right now because their Tar Heels have had the lead here for the last 5 minutes or so. Duke jumped out to an early lead. Carolina came back. Of course, Chapel Hill, the side of Dean Smith, winning more games than anybody in the history of college basketball. The Olympic coach in '76. Got to kind of wonder if Roy and Mike, one of those guys, will be the Olympic coach somewhere down the line.
Well, you know, I would really right now recommend to the USA committee, I would tell them to hire Mike Krzyzewski. He really has such a passion and love for the USA and for basketball. He has the respect of players at every level. I think he would be the ideal choice in 2008. That's the only thing missing on his resume.
That's true.
He was an assistant in '92 with the Dream Team with Chuck Daly.
Scramble for the loose ball. Jay talked about who's going to go to the floor and want to win this one, and so far both colored jerseys have been scrambling trying to come up with loose balls. Let's check in with Jay Billis.
And that's really the difference, Brad and Dick. Who's going to value the ball more? Who is going to go after it? Who is going to protect it? And last year in this kind of play, you might not have seen North Carolina get on the floor, but Raymond Felton, they're taking his space away. He tried to go behind his back, but North Carolina dove on the floor. They're the ones that got it. They dove on the floor on that last possession as well.
You know, Jay, they're really sharing the ball well. They lead the nation in assists, something they didn't do last year.
Williams knocks it down from the outside. Marvin Williams has got a nice touch. He can even shoot the three, and he knocks that one down from about 17. It's a three-point Tar Heel lead.
I'll tell you, Brad, he is special. Comes the way of Washington out there in the Seattle area. Just a big-time performer. Explosive. Works hard defensively, too.
Alcione with the ball. Trying to drive against Jawad Williams. Nelson inside to Williams.
Nice pass inside to Williams. Great look by Nelson.
Now you got to hustle back. I thought Williams was going to take another one, but he lost the handle before he had a chance to take the three.
I'll tell you, Duke doing a great job defensively in transition.
There's a steal.
Give it up. Give it up.
Alcione to Redick, and he had it rejected out of bounds by Jawad Williams.
Jawad Williams with a terrific defensive play. You thought that would have been an automatic layup. That looked like layup city for J.J. Redick. Alcione with a nice bounce pass. Great defensive play, especially not to foul him.
Redick off the inbound for three.
Hasn't had an open look yet.
Carolina had a hand on the rebound, but Melvin Scott kicked it out of bounds.
I think J.J. Redick's got to be aware that Jackie Manuel's got 2 fouls.
Yeah.
And he's got to attack him off the dribble, trying to get third.
You and I talked about it during one of the timeouts. The story could change if number 5 gets a third foul, chasing number 4 around the court.
I tell you, you talk about having the ultimate respect. J.J. Redick has it just by the way the intensity of the defense.
This time he got up in the air. They did a nice job to defend him, but it's Sheldon Williams inside, and Duke regains the lead.
They have not been able to handle. Sheldon Williams has been dominating in the 3-second area.
Blue Devils back in front. Felton going to the rack. Williams got a piece of it. Now rejected out of there, but a foul. On the inside, Mike Woods with a whistle.
Going to take a look at J.J. Redick. Look how they lock him up right here, baby. That's like a yell lock. They're right in his face every time. Make him give the ball up. Great ball reversal, though, and a diagonal pass inside to Williams.
So at the free throw line is the guy that we were just talking about, who's played so hard defensively. He's kind of the unsung hero, all defensive team in the ACC last year. Jackie Manuel out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Not a big scorer at all, about 6 points a game. This is a free throw.
You know, he's perfect for this team. He doesn't have to score. With all the offensive weapons they have, to show you the difference in that club as well. You look at the number of shots Rashad McCants this year versus last year. It's down by about 4 shots a game. He is brought into the system, and that's been a key for them.
Tie game. That is our first tie of the ball game, even at 20.
Two of the great programs in America. Say anything you want, they do it the right way. You never hear about NCAA violations. They're quality kids, and they compete.
Long three. And knocked down by Alcione.
There's a kid that earned playing time. He came here, didn't have a scholarship. He believed in his ability, and now he's a major contributor.
And he just knocked out his 29th three-pointer of the year to give his team a 3-point cushion. Felton tipped in. Nice job by North Carolina on the stick back.
I believe it was Jawad Williams with the tip. Nobody blocked out. They have nobody to check Felton, though. Felton could beat almost anybody off the dribble.
Williams leaves it for Nelson. Nelson, nice position with a body on the baseline to score.
Great ball movement, bringing the ball to the weak side, getting quality minutes out of Nelson.
Jawad Williams turns and fires. The tip is off the mark. Alcione with a rebound.
See, they're being very selective when they're going to run, Brad. Right now, on that rebound, they're coming up 5-on-5. Take a little time off that clock.
Maybe catch their breath a little bit at the 5-minute mark remaining first half.
They have to because they play so many minutes.
Yeah, what are you sweating about, dude? You're really dripping over here. It's now up to 90 where we are in the building. Alcione for 3. Rebound is Sean Mays, and he's in double figures in rebounds, and we've got 4:45 left in the half.
He had 19 against Kentucky, a good Kentucky team that we saw last night.
Melvin Scott got up in the air in no man's land, but May was there to kind of pick up the help. Now it's Williams with the board.
Sheldon Williams has become an incredible force on that 3-second area, offensively and defensively.
6'9", 250-pound junior out of Forest Park, Oklahoma. Now the Cameron Crazies are rocking the building.
They are unbelievable.
Timeout taken by Duke. 4 minutes, 17 seconds remaining. Let's check in with Doris.
Gentlemen, you've heard that expression, sometimes it's better to let sleeping dogs lie. When you come into Cameron Crazy, they don't seem to let anyone alone. This is the pregame, guys. You can't simulate this anywhere. Rashad McCants feigning boredom, not hearing them. And then Sean May got his share of abuse as well before the game, guys. Sean May lighting it up right now with 10 rebounds, 6 points. I think, guys, there are certain guys who you don't want to compete and stoke their competitive fire. Certainly Rashad McCants, Sean May, two of those guys.
Rashad McCants, rather, of course, made the statement sometimes at North Carolina, he feels like he's in prison because it's so rigid. So you got to know the Cameron Crazies were going to come in with their prison outfits tonight.
I tell you, what he really meant there is they have so many rules, regulations.
I know, I should have cleared that up, but I think everybody knows that.
And you know what? About time he's listening, Mr. Williams, because it's made him a better player. Those Cameron Crazies, they drove me bananas. They wanted to pass me the crown and say, hey, man, I'm 65. Take it easy on me.
And a walk. Duke turns it over. Nice defense by North Carolina.
That's the area that they've really improved on. Two basic areas. Defense, and they look at the defense right here. Buying into it, Mr. McCants, and sharing the basketball. Those two areas, they're a different team than last year.
You see the intensity by Rashad on that turnover he forced, giving his team the opportunity with just under 4 minutes to go to regain the lead, but they throw it right back away. It's the most I've seen North Carolina turn it over in a long time. The last 2 games, they had 9 turnovers in each game. In the whole game, they're in double figures here in the first half.
And one of the reasons, because Duke's forcing them in a 5-on-5, not allowing them to get easy layups in transition. You negate that running game, you got a shot.
Reddick.
He can't get an open look, man. Nope. He can't get an open look. I think the only open looks he's had is in practice before the game.
Here's Ewing on the drive. And the foul before the shot's going to be on Felton. Duke leading North Carolina. 3:27 remaining first half on their home floor.
Sports Center in-game. John Saunders back in the studio. A couple of scores. Kansas and Kansas State, surprising there, tied at 24 apiece. And Virginia knocks off Florida State 56-55. Right now, back to Brad and Dick. We're going to have Bruce Weber at halftime.
All right, John, thanks. Back here, we've got 3:27 remaining in the first half. And this one seesawed back and forth. Duke is led by as many as 8. North Carolina is led by as many as 3. Take a look at the standings. This is a very important ball game. Of course, they'll meet in the regular season finale at Chapel Hill. But it would be momentarily, if Duke could win, they basically would be in front, even though the records would be the same, because they'd have one up on North Carolina as far as head-to-head.
I got a feeling we're going to start to see a run by Georgia Tech. I think they got an emotional lift yesterday with B.J. Elder coming back, had double figures, and I think Paul Hewitt's team is too talented to be able to slide the way they did. Look for them to make a run.
Back to a 5-point Duke advantage. And a steal, near steal by Nelson.
Get on the floor. They're getting on the floor for the loose ball.
There's that scramble that we were talking about.
Cameron and Crazies, they love it.
The tempo, the way it's gone so far, you want to control it if you're Duke. Doris.
Well, obviously, it dictates the outcome of this basketball game. If you're Duke and you're playing the #1 scoring team in the nation, what you need to do is let your offense help your defense. Don't take rush shots. Don't take bad shots, and limit your turnovers. Dick, that obviously helps you on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, it does. If we play to good defense, we shared that a little bit earlier, Doris, and I agree with you. You got to protect that basketball and be selective with your shots.
Duke has 10 steals so far in the ball game, so that's turned into some points for them.
That's doing an amazing job knowing tendencies. These clubs know everything about each other, and they read, anticipate really well.
Well, you said a key word there. They know as much about each other as any two teams in basketball. It's a 7-point lead again.
Nice drive by Nelson. Also, Mike Krzyzewski got a lot of advice this week from the general, Robert Montgomery Knights. His former leader said he called him a number of times, talked to him a little about building the team and about what this team's about, and said he got great advice.
And he also talked about what you do in this stage of the season. And part of it was kind of hooked to Mike, the fact that Mike was so exhausted last week and actually had the fading spell, or whatever you want to call it, against Georgia Tech. And he said, I talked to Bob Knight, and we've talked several times about how you pace yourself in practice at this point of the year, because you want to be fresh, obviously, hopefully, for the ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament to follow.
Well, especially when they play so many minutes. They're doing a great job defensively. They are really helping one another out, closing off passing lanes, and really making it difficult for North Carolina to execute its motion game.
Well, how about Felton has 1 assist. He has scored 7 points, but Raymond has 1 assist and 4 turnovers. Here's Ewing. 3 on 1, and he goes and scores anyway.
That was a big-time move. The reverse layup by Mr. Ewing. We're not talking J.R. Ewing, Daniel Ewing. It's not about Dallas, even though he is from Texas.
15-3 Duke run.
Take a look at this layup. He was determined. Great reverse layup in traffic with the left hand. Lays it on the glass. He's a key player.
I tell you, if he finds somebody that took a picture of him going 1-on-3 against 3 North Carolina guys, he'll save that one.
Save that forever. That becomes a great memory, something you share at the dinner table, and it gets better and better. It becomes like, you know, when I scored my 40th point?
Yeah, exactly.
Something you and I would never exaggerate.
Never. Marvin Williams was shooting 87% from the free throw line. He's 0 for 3 at Cameron in his first trip as a freshman into this building.
Well, we had that with Chris Thomas in Notre Dame against Syracuse. Great free throw shooter.
So now we're down to the final 2 minutes of the half. Ewing around a pick. Felton stays with him.
Duke has done a fantastic job controlling tempo. They have controlled the tempo of this game, the flow of the game.
Now with the clock winding down, a runner off the glass for Dockery. So it's Duke, Dick, that's putting the run together right now, and they continue to do so. They're going to call a foul, but they've got a double-digit lead. They'll take it right now.
One could never be shocked what happens at Cameron Indoor Stadium. I mean, they have been absolutely magnificent here over the years during the Coach K tenure, but they are really playing terrific basketball. And the sixth man, those fans really give you that adrenaline, that lift. But remember, there's 40 minutes of this game we saw last night.
It can change in a hurry. Carolina's only 3 out of 7 from the free throw line. That's not helping their cause any. And shooting 75% in conference play from the line.
They're the best free throw shooting team in the conference. They're the best almost in every area. You're talking about assists, free throw shooting, three-point shooting. I mean, they got a phenomenal team. I don't care what the result here is tonight. Nothing's changed my mind that North Carolina, Illinois, and Wake Forest are 3 of my final 4 choices.
More great matchups tomorrow on ESPN and ESPN2 at 7 o'clock. The Wolfpack take on the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. On ESPN2, women's college basketball action. It'll be Tennessee and LSU. That's the only time they meet in the regular season. They're both in the top 5. Rivalry week presented by Cisco Systems tomorrow on ESPN and ESPN2. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. The guys start things off, and the women's game follows on ESPN2.
You know,
both teams going to be great ones.
Teams are really going to beat one another now, and you're going to knock some people out. But if you can get 8-8 in this league, you're going to get an NCAA berth.
Last year, Duke was 13-3 in the conference. North Carolina was, for them, mediocre 500 at 8-8. Trying to save it right into the seats goes Dockery.
They make one extra pass, and they had an open look for J.J. Redick. One extra pass. North Carolina is too tough, too tenacious, too talented. You know we're going to see a spurt out of the Tar Heels.
This game's got a lot of basketball left. 9-point Duke lead. We approach the final minute of the first half.
I have such great admiration and respect for Roy Williams. What he did at Kansas was so special. Averaged 28 wins a year.
4 Final Fours down there. Williams misses. May's going to try to put it back up, and he's fouled.
He comes from great stock. His dad was so special on the last undefeated team, the Indiana team in '76. I think the Illinois team's going to go undefeated through the regular season. They've had their scare and survived that game over Michigan yesterday.
I felt a little bit of a breeze. I think somebody opened the door, but it's still 90 up here where we are. I don't know what it is down on the court, but it's a warm one as Sean May knocks down the free throw. Brad Nessler, Dick Vitale, Doris Burke, Jay Villas. It's a real deal now.
I want to know something. Can we submit our cleaner bill to ESPN?
Absolutely.
I'm going to call our boss up downstairs. I'm going to submit a cleaner bill. My clothes are absolutely, they're destroyed.
I thought our president, George Budenhammer, was here. We just give it to him.
Give it to George. Used to be my driver, and today's one of the giants. One of the giants. He's a great guy as well.
33-26 as Dick looks for a raise. We've got 45 seconds remaining in the first half. Reddick, he said, wait a minute, I'm open. And he knocked down a three.
He couldn't believe how open he was. You're right, Brad. He hesitated. He was like, shocked. I can't believe I'm wide open here. Nice pass.
And a foul and one as Johnson with the foul, and Williams will go to the free throw line.
What a terrific play by May right there to create that opportunity.
You can see the look on J.J. Reddick's face. Watch him right here. He's saying, where's my guy? His guy fell down.
Wow, he can't believe it. Catches it, squares the body. Nothing but nylon, baby. J.J. Reddick, you talk about an All-American. That is an All-American.
That was not Manuel that fell down either, so he did have a different defender finally. It was Noel that was on him, fell down. J.J. made him pay. So Marvin Williams at the free throw line where he's 0 for. There, he got it. That's a three-point play for the freshman, and it makes it a 7-point ball game. Final 30 seconds of the half.
You know what, Roy Williams has brought back that spirit that existed during the Dean Smith era, where Michelangelo had them with such an incredible passion, and that is back again in Chapel Hill.
Dockery on the dribble. Reddick draws a double team. Nelson rejected by May, but out of bounds.
And don't forget to give credit to Matt Doherty with the brilliant recruiting job he did to bring these players to
I was on a radio show with Matt today. I said, what do you want to talk to me about? Half these guys are his. He knows all about them.
I hope he gets a coaching job, Brad. He's ready for one. He deserves one. And he would do a super job if given an opportunity.
Final 8 seconds now. Actually 7.8. Let's see what kind of shot Duke gets away. They've got the lead by 7, trying to add to it.
They want to get the ball to Reddick. Get it in his hands.
Ewing. Double team, lost the handle, picked up by North Carolina. No further damage done. And the Tar Heels do a nice job defensively to prevent Duke from getting a lead of more than the 7 they have right now. 36-29. Let's go down to Jay Billis.
Guys, the story of this first half was Duke's defense holding North Carolina, the explosive offense of the Tar Heels, to just 29 points. Duke was able to knock Carolina back a little bit. When they got the ball inside, it was Sheldon Williams able to erase mistakes. That allowed his teammates to get out in passing lanes. When North Carolina went backdoor, it was Williams there to knock the ball away and start a Duke fast break. North Carolina's got to be stronger with the ball in the second half, Brad.
All right, Jay. Halftime, 36-29. Don't forget, Bruce Weber, head coach of the undefeated Illini, will be in the studio with John Saunders in our UPS halftime report.
Brad, thanks a lot. That's coming up. Myself and Steve Lavin will talk to the head coach of the only unbeaten team and gives you reason to smile. Illinois at 24-0. We'll talk to Bruce Weber when we return. They escaped a very difficult win at Michigan last night.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Cisco Systems. This is the power of the network now. And in part by genuine Ford and Lincoln Mercury parts and service, only at your dealership.
Yeah, that'll get it done. ESPN Full Court from DirecTV. To get yours, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or go to directtv.com.
Rivalry continues. It's 218th. The all-time greats that have played for both Carolina and Duke. The great individual performances, the Grant Hills, the Eric Montross, the blood, the sweat, the tears of a Bobby Hurley, Vince Carter, and all the rest. And tonight, just more of the same. You come into Cameron, you come into the Cameron Crazies. And sometimes you've got to go against 3 North Carolina players to try to score. We've had a lot of great moments already. Our rivalry week presented by Cisco Systems continues. Just about set for the second half. 36-29. Brad Nessler, Dick Vitale, Doris Burke, Jay Billis. It's been everything we thought. Probably not as good as shooting by either team, but I think you got to credit the defense for that.
You really do, Brad. What a great job defensively by Duke. They hold North Carolina 10 for 30, 1 for 6 from the threes. And remember this, they lead the conference in terms of field goal percentage, three-point shooting. They really did a phenomenal job helping one another defensively, and they funneled really well to Sheldon Williams, who locked up the 3-second area.
We take a look at our Cisco Systems ESPN game track. McCants and Williams only 6 points out of 2 for 10 between them. And Duke already has 10 steals. Ewing with 9 points leads the way. J.J. Redick had 8. He had a couple of threes. Took him a while to get loose, though. Halftime adjustments, I'm sure, have been made. Let's check in with Doris Burke first.
Well, Brad, for North Carolina, their main concern, turnovers. They felt like they rushed things too much. It was a credit to Duke's D. On the other side, Duke said, we've got to keep playing that terrific defense. They feel like their best offense is taking really good shots and not turning it over, guys.
Sean May rejected by Randolph.
Chadwick Randolph had a big game in the last game against Georgia Tech. He came in, he blocked 5 shots, he had 7 rebounds, and did really a solid job. He could be a big plus for them with his size.
Remember, he missed 4 games with mononucleosis. He's just getting back to full speed.
Trying to double up on McCants.
Jawad Williams against Sheldon Williams, rejected by Williams. That's his 4th block shot.
He has become one of the premier shot blockers in the nation. Plus, not only the shots he blocks, but he changes shots. His presence really affects people.
He blocked 111 last year. That was his 75th just moments ago. Redick against McCants.
McCants doing a good job right now on Redick.
Randolph got his man up, sets, missed the 3, and the rebound comes off to North Carolina. McCants, spot up jumper. Randolph the rebound.
That's the way they want to beat you. They want to beat you in transition.
Trying to tie the ball up, and instead it's going to be a foul on Felton. Let's check in with Jay Billis now. Jay?
Guys, in the first half, Duke was able to take away Raymond Felton's operating space. He thrives on freedom of movement in the full court, and Daniel Ewing especially was able to get into him early and take away that operating space. And one thing to watch for in the second half, North Carolina starters do not play a lot of minutes. Why? Because they played a lot of blowouts. If this game stays close down to the end, they're going to have to play more minutes than they're used to playing. In this atmosphere and in this heat, that could affect them.
Boy, no kidding. And you consider that with their win the other night over Florida State by 21, they've won 14 ball games by 20 or more points. So that's what Jay's talking about.
You know, Florida State challenged them in that game, came all the way back, and then they went on an incredible spurt to blow that game out.
And a foul and a cheap one on Dockery. That's one thing Mike Krzyzewski talked with us about before the ballgame. Not necessarily in Dockery's case, but he was more concerned about Ewing. He said, we can't get these touch fouls and get Ewing in trouble, or we'll be in trouble.
Well, he's really had a little bit of a dilemma with that over the last 10 days, and they need him on the floor. They need him to be Daniel Ewing, who's really a consummate guard who can play either the point or second guard. Look at him locking up defensively, trying to play Felton.
Nice lead to May, and he goes right in Williams' grill.
What a great job of creating the opportunity. Found the open seam, penetrated.
Sean May, 10 points and a dozen rebounds. How's that for a double-double when you've still got 18-20 to go?
The whole key of this game, we can sit here and analyze, evaluate. They have negated the transition game in North Carolina. We have not seen North Carolina able to run in numbers 3-on-2, 4-on-3.
You and I did the Maryland-North Carolina game. It was tied at 32. The next time we looked up, they were up by about 30 points.
What a show they put on how to run the break that day. We'll see Maryland, by the way, Saturday. And they'll be a different team when they see those Duke blue jerseys. They see those jerseys, they become a different team.
That's our Saturday primetime. Hope you join us as Jay and the whole group will be with Game Day, and Aaron will join Dick and I for the game at 9 o'clock on Saturday night. Felton slipped, and now we do have a held ball.
That ball gets a little slippery out there because of all the perspiration. Take a look at this penetration by Mr. Felton. That's why everybody loves Raymond on Franklin Street. He's BMOC's big man on campus.
But tonight, he's had more turnovers and assists, and that's not like him.
No, this is not a typical performance, and you got to credit, as Jay said, the defensive effort of Duke.
This is as close as they've been, though, since it was 27-22, 5-point ball game. And now Ewing slips and falls, and he travels. And it's getting hot down there, and you'd think we were playing on ice.
Yeah, it's all that perspiration.
On Franklin Street, top of the hill. They're looking on. Their Tar Heels are down.
Oh, there they are in Franklin Street.
They're into their second round, I think, and they've definitely passed the appetizer stage. It's full course time now.
There's some chicken wings. Send us some.
Here's Sean May. He throws a chicken wing on Sheldon Williams, and it's tipped in.
Jackie Manuel on the offensive glass. He gives him another dimension for the guard spot with that size he has.
And all of a sudden, Carolina kind of takes the crowd out of it. Down to 3. Williams, a drop step, runs into a double team. Still powers it up, and he's fouled.
He really created a foul opportunity for himself right there with the ball fake. Jackie Manuel's right in the face, man. He's all Velcro. He is sticking to J.J. Redick. Now take a look right here. Sheldon Williams going to earn this trip. There's a double team. Now he sees the double up. Going to take the step and under. Draw the contact, go to the line. What a sensational year he is having.
What a strong year for the landlord, they call him, a nickname he got way back in 9th grade. He was taking up so much of the lane in a varsity game, and he was blocking shots in double figures, and they said, you know, he's treating guys like bad tenants right now. That's the nickname. And the big fella, 6'9", 250, and I don't know if there's anybody playing low post better than he is right now.
I'll tell you, playing great. So is the kid out of Utah, Andrew Bogut. Nobody talks about him. Averaging about 20 and 12, 7-footer, really doing a phenomenal job. They've won 15 in a row to Utes.
Felton leaves it inside for McCants. Tipped in by May. Sean May now and Sheldon Williams, the two big guys, doing the work for both teams.
Yeah, both guys really negating each other. But the one area where Sheldon Williams has won the battle is anchoring that defense. He has been a strong anchor. That opportunity, by the way, was created by the penetration again of Felton.
Redick got his man in the air, trying to go up to draw a foul for Manuel, and now knocked off of Manuel.
J.J. Redick cannot get an open look. Cannot get an open look.
Don't forget, Friday night NBA starts with a Kia shoot-around at 7:30 at 8 Eastern. Cleveland and Denver get together. Denver's been playing very well with their new coach. That's available on ESPN HD. Then Dallas and Sacramento at 10:30. All on Friday night on ESPN.
Turnover right there by J.J. Redick. You're right, Brad. George Karl has brought about a collegiate spirit now to that team. And certainly with Martin and Anthony, they have the personnel. Happy for George, former North Carolina target. He's probably watching.
He's in Carolina blue probably right now watching this game if he doesn't have one tonight. Whistle and a foul.
You talk about a guy that got the most out of his ability. George Karl used to dive all over the place. Look at Roy Williams and Mike Krzyzewski. I think he would be the ideal Olympic coach in 2008. Red, white, and blue all over that man.
Mike Krzyzewski, 711 career wins. Past that 700 mark this year. Here's a pass, too strong for Williams and taken away by Nelson.
Juwan Williams was a little bit surprised there, but he had himself a layup. See, controlling tempo right here. This is so important. Making the extra pass, eliminate the transition.
Williams turned baseline on May, and May was waiting for him, as if to say, buddy, I've seen that move a bunch.
You know, Brad, everybody talks about doing it against North Carolina, but not many teams can execute that as efficient as they're doing here.
Great point. DeMarcus Nelson gives it up. Williams now drives on May. Whistle and a foul before he got to the basket. And that foul is going to be on Jawad Williams. We got a timeout. 15:36 remaining, a three-point ball game.
Time on the floor.
52 years ago, only $2 for a ticket price. $2 wouldn't get you a warm beer out in Krzyzewskiville right now, but so many great players, Dick, that have been in this series.
Oh, there's been so many. I've been asked to pick my team. Here's the club I like. Kenny Smith and Jordan at the guards. Our guy, Mr. Doherty in the middle. Worthy and Perkins. And Jamison and Carter off the bench.
Oh, man.
Not a bad 7, huh?
That's the past 25 years for Carolina. We'll look at Duke's team a little bit later on. Right now, they've got the lead. Their big fella's double teamed, and he's trying to force one up, and he loses it off his knee out of bounds.
Yeah. Hey, I hope that people understand why there's no Phil Ford. We're talking about, as you said, the last 25 years. Here's my Duke club. We go with Williams and Dawkins in the backcourt. Hill, Battier, Leitner up front. Wow. Ferry and Hurley off the bench. How's that for a Super 7? Hey, I'd love to see those two teams play each other.
Well, you'd said Jay Billis wasn't on there, but we have to, we have to cut it off somewhere.
We'll make Jay one of the coaches. He'll coach the Duke club.
I like that.
And we'll get Phil Ford to coach the Carolina group.
Well, of course, if you went back farther than 25, you'd hit the Jaminskis and the Gene Banks and all of those guys. So we had to cut it off someplace. Otherwise, we just keep rolling credits for about 5 minutes on all the great players.
Well, we cut it back to when we started on television, 1979.
Here's a three by McCants, and that ties it up.
Oh, they needed that. They needed that. They got to get McCants going offensively.
Only the second tie of the ball game.
Told you
15 minutes to go.
I told you they're too talented that they will be back when they were down 9.
Reddick trying to answer and does.
Oh, he does answer right in the face. I mean, he shot that right in the face of Manuel. He's the best shooter in America. I don't care what his percentages are. Remember, he never gets uncontested shots. He is flat out the best shooter in America.
3-point game again.
Bring on anybody you want to bring on.
Steal by Randolph in front of May. And he can't score, but he's fouled.
Shavlock Randolph had a great opportunity to really have this house rock.
Reddick has 3 threes tonight.
Look at J.J. Reddick now getting free. Little curl move, moves so well without the ball. I love that rotation. I know one thing. If Coach K coaches the Olympic team, he better bring J.J. Reddick to shoot against those zones.
Deep three for Nelson, and he knocked it down.
He's been big today. He has really been big. He's given them quality minutes. Oh, this place is rocking. I love it. College basketball.
That'll quiet him down momentarily. Nice speed inside to Marvin Williams.
Great look inside to Marvin, the magnificent one. He's going to be magical. They're still my team to win the national title, North Carolina.
Ewing pull up 18-footer. Rebound battle is won by Williams. Marvin Williams, that is.
Got so many Williams out there.
Here's May, and he's hammered underneath.
He hesitated. He should have went to the basket a little quicker.
Randolph picks up his 3rd foul.
He broke all the hearts of the people in Bloomington, Indiana, when he said, I'm not going to my daddy's school. I'm going to North Carolina. Remember, his daddy played for Dean Smith on the Olympic team in 76.
Of course, his dad was a National Player of the Year in 76.
Oh, is he good?
Undefeated Indiana team, a 32-0, the last team that's done it.
That team I love. They represented everything coaches dream about. Shared the basketball, defended. They were so brilliantly coached. They would have had two unbeaten seasons if Mr. May, his dad, didn't get hurt.
Now there's only one team that still has a chance to duplicate that kind of record, and that's the team and the coach that we had at halftime on our halftime report.
They had a little scare yesterday against Tommy Yemick in Michigan. But you know what? During the course of a year, you're going to have scares.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to survive. And D. Brown just would not allow them to lose.
You're going to have games where you got to get lucky. It's as simple as that.
You've been lucky a little bit in life.
Just working with you is real lucky.
I saw your wife. I know you're lucky. I'm just lucky to be alive.
2-point game. Ball knocked away. Williams underneath. And he'll go to the free throw line.
I'm really impressed with the passing ability of J.J. Reddick.
We talked about the #1 team in the country. Both these teams are in the top 10. It's Illinois, still unbeaten at 24-0. There's Carolina and Duke, 2 and 8 respectively.
I tell you, Boston College, you got to salute those kids. Great effort. Certainly no upset yesterday.
Can you show me that?
Notre Dame at home. You expected that. Hey, I want to go to Jay Billis. Jay, let's take a look at J.J. Reddick. People look at him as a one-dimensional shooter. I have people tell me that. I don't know what they're watching, Jay. Maybe I'm looking at a different player, but I see a multi-dimensional guy.
No, I agree, Dick. And the difference is he's in much better condition this year, and he is able to absorb a bump. Last year, about this time, he would get worn out, and now he can run guys off screens. He's great at reading defenses, and when they make him curl screens, which a lot of defenders are doing, pushing him inside that three-point line, he's able to put the ball on the floor, finish shots, and draw fouls. And as you know, Dick, and have been saying, when he gets to the free throw line, he knocks them down.
He's automatic. He did a great job in trying to get them back in the game against Wake Forest.
He said, I did a lot of running in the offseason. I spent a lot of time thinking to myself, and he lost about 23 pounds, and he's a different-looking player. Here he is around a pick. Couldn't get away that time, though.
Trying to set a high screen for him. See, that's why his percentage isn't what people would expect with a guy that can shoot like that. He takes some 4 shots.
No, dropped that one. That was like dropping a touchdown pass. He had a slam dunk coming. He forgot to take the ball along.
I thought he was like Branch, going to be right out there in the end zone. Brady to Branch.
17 turnovers suffered by North Carolina. That's way above what they would normally have in a ball game.
And that's a credit to Duke, doing a super job defensively. So much concentration on every possession.
Nelson hit his last three. Got another one.
He's got another one. I tell you, he's a prolific scorer on a high school level. He had a broken thumb earlier this year.
North Carolina trying to answer and can't. Randolph the rebound. Duke by 7. We're under 12 and a half minutes to go.
I think they're shooting the ball too quickly.
Rivalry week, the 218th meeting between Carolina and Duke at Cameron Indoor, and it's rocking right now. With Dick Vitale, Doris Burke, and Jay Billis, I'm Brad Nessler. Duke has won 7 straight on their home floor against Carolina, and right now they've got the lead by 7 with 12 minutes and change remaining. Reddick, pull-up jumper, and whistle and a foul.
The team that takes the better shots down the stretch is going to win this basketball game. It's all going to come down to shot selection, like it does so many times. You and I have done so many games. We see teams execute, and they have the wrong people shoot the ball. Saw a great effort defensively last night out of Kentucky.
Oh, did we ever. They were down at halftime to Florida, scratched back for their win. Alcione missed a 3.
See this? Look how they get back. Look how they get back. Look at the bench scoring. Duke getting the edge here.
McCants has been pretty quiet. Williams open and knocks down the jumper, and that's Marvin Williams' 9th point.
I just absolutely go wild when I watch that kid warm up.
How good is he?
Warm up. I look at him and I see so much potential.
Some people tell you he's the best player on this team. That's kind of hard to say considering all the great ones they have, including May, who's got another rebound. McCants, spin move. Reverse layups missed, but he's fouled by Dockery.
The Cats did a great job right there in transition to create that opening. Marvin Williams, though, has got the whole package. He really does. He's only playing 20 minutes a night. You're going to see his numbers just explode next year.
11:27 remaining in the ball game. If you've still got 11 and a half minutes of your night left, I don't think you want to go anywhere. We'll be back at Cameron Indoor in a moment.
Welcome back to Durham, where Duke leads by 5. We've talked an awful lot tonight about tempo and whether Duke could control it, because if they can, they keep the ball out of the very dangerous hands of the North Carolina transition game. Execution goes to time of possession. Dick Vitale, they are +4 in minutes. That limits Carolina's scoring opportunities, and that's always a good thing.
I tell you, Doris, you know about point guard play, having been such a brilliant player at Providence. And right now, they've taken away Raymond Felton. He excels in transition, and they have not allowed North Carolina to show us that vaunted offensive attack that's helped them lead the nation, averaging 92 points a game.
Rashad McCants got the first of 2. He'll try to cut the lead now down to 3. Rashad averaging 16.1 a game, the leading scorer for North Carolina, and a 72% free throw shooter.
They got so many places they can hurt you, North Carolina, whether it be a McCants or one of the Williams or May or Felton.
3-point game, and something I think came out of the floor, maybe either just, well, maybe another wet spot or something was thrown on the floor. So the officials stop play.
Oh, look at this. Look at his shoes. Look at his shoes. It's unbelievable. I mean, look at that. He's got my name on there. They didn't ask me to sign it. I was signing autographs today on people's shoes. Did you believe that?
I signed a leather jacket in Kentucky last night.
I
said, you sure you want to wreck this jacket? You signed a lot of shoes the other night.
I had some girls asking me to sign their arms, and I refused to do it. I don't sign skin. I don't sign skin.
Leave that one alone.
Ewing's been solid with the ball.
Working against Felton.
Last year was Chris Duhon, the ball in his hands. He was a leader, a lot more verbal than Ewing. They'd like Ewing to be a little bit more verbal.
There's the 3rd foul on Manuel now.
Jackie Manuel, his 3rd.
McClure out right now, and certainly Reggie Love, who would give him another athlete, a guy that would give him some minutes.
Reggie, they say, might be able to put pressure on that broken foot by the end of this week and then start practicing a little bit. Football player, Reggie on the right, a big body that really helps him off the bench, is a banger.
what talent they got coming in next year with McRoberts. You and I met Greg Paulus up there at Syracuse.
Yeah, we did.
What a beautiful kid. They say from day one, the ball's going to be basically in his hands. He'll earn it, but he'll come here and he'll be a Bob Hurley kind of point guard.
He said it'll be kind of a combination, Mike said, between Wojo sitting there to his left and Bob Hurley. I said, boy, that's a wicked combo. And we did meet Greg. And the only thing that's a big loss, and I'm just complaining because I'm a college football guy, the kid threw for almost 12,000 yards and over 150 touchdowns in New York in high school football.
Tom Lemming said he would be a potential Heisman Trophy winner. Is that unbelievable?
That's something. Nice drive to the basket by Manuel.
And a poor job defensively. Great drive by Manuel, but that was a poor job rotating over by Duke defensively. Normally, you don't get an open lane to the basket.
We approach the midway point of the second half. 3-point ball game.
Bounce pass.
And
should have used the bounce pass right there.
Trying to save it. Laying out over there in the crowd, which is not a... And you gotta love the Cameron Crazies. They're helping Jackie Manuel out of the crowd. Normally they'd kind of swallow him up, but I think they appreciate the hustle.
You don't want to be in there. Look at Jackie going in there with all the crazies. Believe me, I've been in there. I know what that's about. Oh, they really enjoy it. Everybody's trying to emulate them all over the nation.
Redick, the three. And the rebound comes off to Carolina and pushing it on the run. Felton, McCants for three to tie it. Rebound underneath. It's a one-point game, and it's Manuel with back-to-back baskets.
Manuel with a good offensive rebound, but that was their transition game. Looking for the three out of the transition game.
One-point game, and we're just over 10 minutes. Mike Krzyzewski says, let's talk this thing over for a couple of seconds. 10-17 remaining second half. Big game. Number 2 trails number 8 by 1.
New life at the top of the hill in Chapel Hill as the North Carolina Tar Heels making a run at Duke and Cameron Indoor Stadium. They trail by just one. Why? Because they've been much tougher with the ball, especially in their half-court execution. Raymond Felton putting the ball on the floor, drawing defenders and dishing it off to Sean May. Then again getting free, and North Carolina getting some easy looks and offensive rebounds inside. Then a mismatch, and Jackie Manuel able to put it on the floor. J.J. Redick too busy trying to guard inside to get over and cut off that drive.
And Carolina shooting 50% in the second half from the floor. Duke, that's the first two-point field goal for Duke in this half. They had 3 threes, 3 of 12 is all, but on that drive, Nelson has been a big difference, Dick.
He really has. That was a great play, and they came right back, North Carolina, with an answer. They're starting to execute a lot better in a half-court game. A lot better execution out of North Carolina. I'm going to say the little ball movement, the ball dumped inside, and it's made with the little handoff, very unselfish. That's why they lead the nation in assists right now. Number 1 in America.
At the free throw line, trying to cap a three-point play again. It's Marvin Williams. He's done that once in the first half. 11 points for the game. Randolph's got to come out. He's got 4 fouls. They need his size as they go down the stretches. We're under 10 minutes. 9:57 remaining.
What basketball in this conference. Great article today. We got all the writers out here. Malcolm Moran, Dick Weiss, Len Robbins at a post, Kenny Davis at Hartford, plus all the Triangle guys. But a great article today in USA Today about the wacky world of the ACC. When you look at Virginia Tech and Miami, they're at 500 in the conference.
Maryland and Georgia Tech in that mix right there. Both winners last night. We'll see Maryland against this Duke team on Saturday night. They bring it back out on top to Ewing for 3, and he got it.
Great inside-outside. Ball goes to the interior, and they bring the ball back outside to Ewing.
Now the steal. 3-point lead. Ewing going the other way.
He's got to bring it out. Got to bring the ball back out. It was a great play by Duke, recognizing the interior and the perimeter. Bringing the ball into the 3-second area, and then back out from Williams to Ewing. Coach K had to like that play. Gonna watch the ball go inside. Gonna freeze it right here. And they kick it right out here to the open shooter. Goes inside and out. Bring the ball inside, bring it out. Great job. That's perfect execution.
Carolina trailing by 3 as we approach 9 minutes.
Nice job of hedging right there, stepping out, playing the screener, get back to your old man.
McCants for the tie. Rebound saved beautifully by Manuel on the baseline. But now it's Redick with a loose ball.
McCants not shooting well tonight. He's too good a shooter. Really struggling.
He's 2 out of 10 from the floor.
That's 20%.
Good man.
I shoot like that, baby. Never shot McCann.
Ewing will try another three. Got another one.
Why not? Same spot. Why not? Same spot. They love him here. Oh, they love him down in Duke country.
The guy that Mike Krzyzewski said had to play within himself and not get in foul trouble because they need him on the floor has hit the last two baskets, and Carolina turns it over.
I'd get a timeout. He should get a timeout. This place is rocking. They need a TO, baby.
Ewing, his third three of the game. Same spot, same result. He's got his team in front by 6.
Wow, we're getting paid for this, Brad. It's unbelievable. Last night, Florida, Kentucky, Syracuse, Notre Dame. Saturday, we'll be down there in Maryland. Unbelievable.
Somebody said to me today, when's the last time that Duke was considered an underdog in their own building? I said, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. They weren't expected to win this game. This is the first time in 4 years both teams have been in the top 10. They're both playing like it.
Playing, I'll tell you what. Defensively, they're doing a great job. Offensively, a little bit of a struggle for North Carolina because of the defense by Duke. But Ewing has hit 2 big threes. I think the key player nobody knew about Doris is DeMarcus Nelson. He has been so effective.
Well, they've certainly gotten support from him in the backcourt, but their leader is J.J. Redick. And Coach Krzyzewski told us before the game, a much better leader. You talk about a better condition, J.J. Redick. 1 month after the Final Four last year, guys, he said he hit rock bottom. He said, I wanted to change athletically, academically, spiritually. They set a goal, guys, of running 8 laps in 12 minutes. J.J. almost made 9. He is committed, and he's a better leader. He's going to need all that conditioning down the stretch of this one, guys.
On the drive, rebound is off to Sean May.
He should have dunked that. He had a great opportunity to dunk that, but he lost control of the ball.
May has been huge on the glass for Carolina. Here's Nelson with a steal, and he's fouled.
I'll tell you, DeMarcus Nelson has quietly been an unsung hero here tonight.
This is the kind of thing Jay's talked about throughout this game. Who wants to scramble? Who wants to hustle? Right now, DeMarcus Nelson, the freshman off the Duke bench, wants it more than North Carolina.
ESPN College Game Day is in Maryland, where the heat is on. How does J.J. Redick stay cool under fire? Then at 8.
Here's how I think you can stop Duke.
Get warmed up at Duke, Maryland. ESPN College Game Day, 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Saturday on ESPN.
I think the players don't hate each other like the fans hate each other. I'll say that. I have the utmost respect for those guys. I'm friends with a couple of their players, and but it's still a heated rivalry, and it seems like the game is bigger than any one of us.
And J.J. Redick, who's been quoted as saying, or people have talked about him probably being the most hated, and I don't think hate's the right word. He gets hassled more in every opposing arena than anybody else in the country.
Hey,
but that's because they'd love to have a guy like that.
Oh, yeah. Guys on top, they always want to take shots at. You know, I was just thinking here, if I had to pick an All-American team today, I would go with Redick and Chris Paul in the backcourt. Up front, I'd go with Simeon, Warwick, and Bogut from out at Utah. Wow. Is that a bad 5?
I think you could win a couple of games.
Wow, not a bad 5. That's subject to change. It may change by March 1st. But Nelson, what a performance he is having here. This is a breakout game for him.
Working on his 14th point and got it.
14 quality points.
Now it's an 8-point game. Biggest lead of the second half for Duke.
He's also giving up a lot of size defensively in this matchup.
Sean May inside, off the glass, and 1.
He's been sensational tonight in the 3-second area. I think he's got, what, 15 rebounds?
15 rebounds to go with right now. 16 points, trying to make it 17.
Got the ball in real deep. See, once he gets the ball in here, you get the ball in that area there, he's going to score. He got the ball in too deep. Right around the basket. Post players would love that.
Led the ACC in rebounding last year. First sophomore to do it in 10 years. 15 boards tonight to go with now 17 points. Not a bad night.
I think the last guy to be a rebounding leader for them, Mitch Kupchak in the conference. Now to find GM for the Los Angeles Lakers.
61-56. We've got 7.5 minutes to go. There's the Duke leaders. Ewing has led the way with 4 threes, part of his 15 point, 3 threes, part of his 15 points. Here's Redick. with the left hand. He's going to go to the free throw line. And if it's Manuel, it is 4 on him.
See, this is what he does so much better this year. His attack at the basket, his first step, his ability to create contact, to be able to go to the line where he's the greatest free throw shooter in the history of the NCAA. What's the number? Over 93% career-wise?
Yep.
So he protects the basketball.
Up to the line, 93+% from the free throw line career, 5 for 5 tonight.
What rhythm, what touch he has.
He's 115 of 123 from the stripe. And Duke is perfect from the free throw line tonight, by the way. They're 15 out of 15.
That's not too bad. That's what we had Wake Forest one day. It was incredible.
But they go 31 for 31.
Yeah.
Like
Then he ends up going 50 in a row before they missed one at Florida State at the end. Down he did.
Redick knocks down 2, 63-56.
What a weapon that is to have Redick and Ewing on the floor with a lead late, where they got a foul to put those guys on the line.
Duke by 7, 7 to go. May over Williams. Whoa, what a tough shot that was.
I'll tell you, he is playing sensational, as I said earlier. Getting deep position, wanting the ball. But the key again, I can't emphasize this enough. Having seen North Carolina so often, they have not been able to demonstrate that fast break. Duke has taken away the transition game.
Redick drives. He knows Manuel's got 4 fouls. But he doesn't have Manuel on him right now. Beg your pardon.
I would right now want him to drive, try to get a foul situation. There he goes to the basket.
And he missed the shot. And was there a foul called? No. Out of bounds to North Carolina.
Isn't it amazing? I know we sound repetitious, but think about the transition opportunities North Carolina. They can count them on your hand.
Yeah. Only need one hand.
Yeah.
Still very much in the game. North Carolina trails by 5. Here's McCants to try to cut it to 2.
Wide open. He normally knocks that down.
Williams with a rebound.
That's usually automatic for McCants. He's hanging his head a little bit right now. He's got to forget about the missed shot and just keep playing.
He's only got 9 points. And I'm sure that's weighing on him a little bit.
See, if I were him, I'd go inside. He's such a great post-up player. Utilizes his ability to score around the basket. Duke
spreads it out a little bit.
They're taking some time off that clock. Not going to any freeze pattern, but certainly going to use the clock.
Now it's Selden Williams in deep. And a whistle and a foul.
They do this usually so well, spreading the court.
Here's what Dick was talking about. McCants trying to knock down that 3 and press it a little bit. You can see him close his eyes as if to say, man, it's not my night.
Frustration, frustration.
It's not over yet, Rashad. Stay with it.
Got to stay with it. You know, Duke is so effective usually when they have the lead late. That's why it was so shocking to see the way they weren't able to close out Connecticut last year to semifinal.
That's their first missed free throw, Dick.
Yep, 15 to 16. You're right on it, buddy. I know you got it all. Got all these numbers.
Sheldon Williams, 4 out of 5 from the stripe. But tonight he's become the first Duke player ever to have 5 blocks and 5 steals in the same game. You would think over 100 years of basketball, somebody would have done that.
He's going to get a little rest right now. Smart substitution. He's not going to be out long. I can guarantee you that.
You got that right.
He'll be back on that floor. Oh, they're jumping with joy right now, but this baby's not over.
We're down to 5.5. 64-58. 8th-ranked Duke leading number 2, North Carolina. Ball loose on the baseline. Out of bounds to North Carolina. Nope, the other way. Last touch by Felton.
Duke has done a terrific job really digging in defensively, rotating over, closing off driving lanes. I can't sing their praises enough about their defensive effort and their ability to negate the transition game.
Whether or not they'll give Raymond Felton the credit or discredit for that turnover, I don't know. But if they give it to him, that's 8 turnovers by Felton tonight.
Going to spread the court, use the shot clock, and again, this takes away the transition game.
Redick, backpedals, fires a 3 and got it!
Oh, what a big three! What a big three! Did I love it here? Look at him jumping!
Foul before the shot by May. And Redick, his 4th 3-pointer of the night. Watch this thing.
Look at this. Backs up, squares the body, falls to the deck. Nothing but nylon. Hey, Doris, we watch him shoot the 3. What about a breakdown of the transition game of North Carolina?
Well, I think if you would have told Mike Krzyzewski that Carolina would have 0 fast break points with 5 minutes to play, he would have said, I have a pretty good chance to win. Right now, he's in control, guys.
Well, he told us before the game, we sat in his office with him. He told us how concerned he was about their transition. And anybody that plays them, that's the first thing you have to be concerned about.
North Carolina, the best free throw shooting team in the conference, is 10 for 24.
Great teams that will find a way to come back and win, like Illinois did. But there's one difference. This is not a struggling Michigan team. This is Duke they're playing against, North Carolina.
Ewing goes down and skidded on his knee as there was a timeout being called, and now he's hurt. You could hear it way up here, and I mean, we're a long ways away from where he just hit the deck.
A long, long way.
Watch this.
Long, long
Driving
way.
on felt and slipped, and then you heard that all the way up here on the right knee.
Can't afford to lose him. Their triangular three, Ewing, Reddick, and Sheldon Williams, are so valuable to this team.
67-58 in this one that might end up being a classic. Right now, let's take a look back on this date in college basketball history.
A lot of big matchup today. We're going to enjoy this one.
Just like we like it, right down to the final horn and maybe more. Put up, no good, overtime. Shot, no good. Let's do another 5. And are you ready for more? We're going to overtime one more time. Blocked by Humphrey. Basket does not go. They wave it off. Irish will win in a quadruple overtime game. One of the most dramatic games in the history of the Big East, and there have been many.
And of course, Notre Dame last night with a big, big win.
Not a great performance out of Thomas and Falls. Chris came back strong. Falls had 7 threes.
J.J. Redick double dribbled, and I'm going to agree with it. He doesn't agree with the call. He thinks he had it knocked away from him while he was in his dribble. I think he just forgot he had dribbled, to be honest with you.
It was the double dribble. Good call. I think the officials done a solid job here tonight.
They've done a really fine job. They've let him play, but they haven't called ticky-tack fouls, and it's been a good overall performance by those 3 guys.
Haven't stopped the rhythm of the game. Great job of hedging. Stepping out.
The 3 goes for Felton.
Tell you, Felton has improved his shooting. He made 12 in a row this year at one time from the trifecta. He's learned to get that elbow in. He used to have that chicken wing.
Yep. He's got 10 points now. He's cut the lead to 6 at the 4-minute mark. And McCants will pick up the foul. Second foul on McCants. So we've got 4:01 remaining.
Look at Melchione right here, trying to challenge Williams, who's trying to sit in the post. Oh, he's hooked him around the neck. Got away with that, baby. You still smell a spurt by North Carolina. You just feel they're definitely due for a spurt. They can hit a 3 so quickly. They're shooting better than 40% from the 3.
This guy's been sensational off the bench. 14 points. His season high for DeMarcus is 17. He might be on his way to that or better. Scored over 3,400 points in high school, the California State high school record. And you go, well, he was just a shooter. He had over 1,500 rebounds and almost 800 assists. That's a player.
He's done a great job rebounding here in terms of for Duke this year. Doesn't have great size.
California's Mr. Basketball knocks both of them down at 69-61, 4 to go. Don't go away.
He'll get an Oscar if they win this game tonight because he's been the unsung hero.
Supporting role.
Big time. Supporting role, yes, sir.
Felton's hit the last 2 shots now for Carolina.
Well, you can't beat Jamie Foxx with Ray. I saw that movie recently. He was unbelievable. And attacking the basket. Here they go, spread the court.
Dockery on the dribble.
Foul line extended.
Dockery out there with Nelson and Reddick, and then Williams.
See, this is good basketball IQ. Make sure Ewing and Reddick do a lot of the handling.
They got 4 good ball handlers out there. Ewing thought about a 3. He hit a couple from that spot, and now trying to get a pass inside, and nobody touched it apparently. Wait a minute, now the officials, one's going to overrule the other. It's going to be Duke basketball. We got a timeout. Duke will have the ball and a 6-point lead when we come back.
Back at Cameron Indoor Stadium, Duke leading North Carolina by 6. And for the first time all game long, Raymond Felton allowed to get out in transition after the made free throw. You can see Raymond Felton had space. He was given space and allowed to get an angle by Sean Dockery. When he did, he was in the open floor and nobody could really pick him up. He gets all the way to the basket. You cannot allow him that much space if you want to take transition away, even after a made field goal or free throw.
Here they come in transition again. And Felton takes it all the way to the rack, knocked to the floor with 3:07 to go.
I'll tell you one thing, Jay. Somebody's got to stop the penetration in a basketball. That's the first thing you learn in terms of stopping a team in transition. No one for Duke rotating out to close off any driving angle that he had to the basket.
So Felton will step to the free throw line. His first trip there, 68% free throw shooter. He's got 12 points. He scored in double figures now in 13 of the last 14 North Carolina games.
I just love this kid. He's so unselfish. The guy that's really been contained tonight is Juwan Williams. He's only got one basket tonight, Brad.
Yep. He isn't shooting the rock very well, but shooting the rock presented by Rock Green Light. First half, Duke, their three-point field goals, 50% from outside the arc, and they're lucky because they don't have that many field goals, but 6 of them have been threes.
And those threes changed certainly the complexion of the game.
Felton knew he was going to miss that free throw, and he tried to shag down the rebound on the baseline and couldn't get to it.
Big-time rebound right there by Williams.
5-point game. We're under 3 minutes.
And there they are with a 3-2, have the foul line extended, and then they release to the basket.
Reddick knew he was running out of real estate. He just turned around on the baseline and threw it off Manuel's knee and out of bounds. So it'll be Duke ball with 2:51 left.
Psychologically, this would be a big win for Duke, making that journey down to the Comcast to play Maryland, who certainly can't wait. Maryland plays them so tough.
And the only game they lost here this year, they're 11-1 at home, was Maryland.
Yeah, that's right. North Carolina's got a journey on Sunday with Connecticut.
That won't be easy either.
You got that right.
Ewing with 6 on the shot clock, leaves it off. Melchione trying to drive against May, had it blocked. He did get a second shot away. It would have been a shot clock violation, but May clears off the glass again. May, another rebound.
I'd rotate McCants inside.
And here's Sean May offensively. He's going to go to the free throw line. Melchione picks up his 4th foul. Sports Center with Stuart Scott and Scott Van Pelt will be coming up with the day's highlights. They'll take a look at the top moments from this game. The curse of Jordan. Is Chicago ever going to be the same now that Michael's done? The steroid conversations and all that coming up after the game, so stay tuned.
Well, you know, you got Stewart and certainly Mr. Van Pelt. You got North Carolina and Maryland right there going head-to-head. Stewart a little nervous right now.
Sean May has hit all 6 of his free throws.
What great recruits both of these clubs have coming in next year. Duke's got Paulus, McRoberts, Boateng, Boykin, Posius. Carolina's got a kid, Tyler Hansbrough, Bobby Fraser, Danny Green, Junior.
Sean May's got 21 points and 19 rebounds.
Ties his number against Kentucky.
And he's 19. Close to his season high in scoring, which was 24. He's made it a 3-point game again as we approach 2 minutes.
He's done a great job inside. He's had the tough task of trying to defend Sheldon Williams.
Manuel didn't give Reddick enough room to shoot.
Controlling tempo, taking time off the clock.
Ewing got his man in the air, missed the jumper, and kept alive by Randolph, who had the foul trouble earlier. Mike Krzyzewski took him out, knowing he'd need him in this kind of situation. He comes up with a big rebound.
That's a big offensive rebound, and he drew contact, and his foul now goes to the line. He's rested, so he should be able to step up there with a lot of confidence.
Not a great free throw shooter, though. 59%er is Randolph. 17 of 29 on the season. So his 2 biggest free throws of this year are at hand. Duke has only missed once from the stripe. They're 19 out of 20. Sheldon Williams missed 1. Nobody else has. And neither's Randolph.
I'll tell you, he looks so confident right there. I think what happens, kids have a tendency when they focus, they shoot so much better. They get a little casual and blowouts.
Shab's mom and dad. Shab's mom and dad, Ken and Kim, went to North Carolina.
I know.
And
but they're not rooting for North Carolina tonight.
No, they're not.
His granddad was a superstar at North Carolina State.
#1 draft choice of the Knicks, as a matter of fact. And he got a both.
He got the roll. The roll went his way. We got a 2-possession game.
5-point Duke lead. 1:53 to go. Everybody up. 93-114.
Don't have to think about 3 here, Brad. Got to get a high percentage shot.
Here comes some full court pressure from Duke.
They're going to make him really work, trying to get the ball up the court.
Ryan Kersey's trying to get all the assistant coaches at front of the Duke bench to sit down, and he finally gets them to back up. They got about 15 seats there.
Yeah, I see all those suits. It's unbelievable. It's like a board of directors.
Here's Felton. Behind the back, lost the handle.
Out of control there.
And to go to the floor, and it does come to McCants. Williams. The extra pass is not a good one.
Should have taken that ball right to the basket. Should have taken the ball right to the basket. He tried to make the extra pass. It wasn't available.
22 North Carolina turnovers. They really didn't need that one right there from the freshman.
That's a lot of turnovers. It wasn't created. Look at a little nervous right there. A little nervous in Chapel Hill.
Look at the face there. That tells the story. But there's still 1:40 left. Jubilation on the other side, but a long way to go.
Last time the Duke students emptied on the court was in '98 when they beat North Carolina, who was #1 in the nation, with Carter and Jamison.
And a traveling violation on Dockery. Lost his footing. High pressure defense by North Carolina. He thought about calling a timeout, and then he took a step. And the official was right on top of it and called the walk.
These teams have never met. Do you believe this? They have never met in their history of basketball in the NCAA tournament.
Isn't that something?
That's amazing.
Well, last year Duke got to the Final Four, lost to UConn by a point, and UConn beat Georgia Tech for the championship.
I'll tell you why this game is big also. Charlotte is the host for the first 2 rounds, and if you want to stay here, you better get a leg up on Wake Forest, North Carolina, and Duke trying to get there.
McCants tipped in by May.
Oh, they want to wave it off. They want to wave it off. They want to wave it off.
They give it to him. It's a timeout.
I think it was a good call. I don't think he interfered.
23 points, 20 rebounds, Sean May.
The Duke staff was screaming to wave it off, but I don't believe it. I think that ball was coming off.
We take another look.
Let's see if it comes off the sill. Yes, sir, it's off.
It's in the front.
That's a good tip.
Got it tipped in. And up on the hill.
Oh, they love it now. Look at them jumping. They're getting excited. So that's our heels, baby.
1:12 remaining. 71-68. Each team with a couple of timeouts. North Carolina over the limit of 10. The foul category, they've got the possession arrow.
Free throw shooting so big as you come down the stretch. If you're Duke right now, you want to get the ball in the hands of Reddick or Ewing. You want to make certain they have the basketball.
Remember, Duke has missed only 1 free throw. Sports Center follows us. 1:12 left in regulation. 71-68. Here's some full court pressure from the Tar Heels.
Spread the court really well.
No problem for the Blue Devils to get it into the front court. Ewing almost slipped and fell down again. Finds an open man. Nelson rejected. No foul called. Here comes North Carolina. McCants on the run. Lays it in.
That's their transition game. Off the steal, the turnover, and that was typical. That's vintage North Carolina transition.
Everybody in Durham was looking for a foul call on the other end. They didn't get it. Down to 40 seconds. 1-point game.
Got to spread the ball court. North Carolina's going to get the ball back. They will get the ball back.
Reddick brings it out near midcourt. 15 on the shot clock. He lost the handle. Now on the dribble. And Nelson almost lost it.
Tough pass to handle right there.
Reddick, 5 on the shot clock. Deep 3. And it's an air ball. And Carolina's got it back with a chance to win. 18.2 seconds.
And you got to go inside. You got to go to May inside and then make something happen off the hit. Or maybe they will try to get the ball to Felton and try a little dribble penetration.
There's been some great finishes in the past in the 217 previous games. How about taking you back to 1995 in February? It was Jeff Capel with a half-court shot in 2 overtimes. Let's take a look. There's a missed free throw. Now, Dick, you were here for this.
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. 35 feet. Remember, that was not a good team. And they had Mr. Stackhouse and Wallace. It was a terrific game.
Some of the great shots and the great moments. We've probably got another great finish coming up.
Let me tell you,
18.2 remaining, 71-70. You know, when J.J. Redick hit that three-pointer to make it a 9-point game, I think it was 67-58, and I sort of jotted it down, and I thought to myself, that's the three that's going to kill Carolina. Give them credit. They hung with it.
Oh, there's no quitting them. They're too talented. And right now, you got to look for dribble penetration out of Felton, trying to create an opportunity on the inside. And also, they want to take it down to where at least they'll give themselves an opportunity for an offensive rebound.
Remember, they only need 2 to win. They don't need a three-point shot. They've got 18.2, plenty of time to put a play together. Redick is the guy that had to force that last three-point shot.
You know, Brad, they're an outstanding offensive rebounding team. And many a time, it's the offensive rebound that becomes the real dilemma.
That would be Sean May on the other end. If they do miss a shot, he might be there for his 21st.
They got it to Felton. He's going to penetrate.
Here we go. Final 10 seconds.
He's going to penetrate, trying to create an opportunity.
Ewing on Felton. Felton spins around.
Picked up his dribble.
4.
Picked up his dribble.
2. They're not going to get a shot away. Duke's going to win it.
Duke survives.
They didn't get a shot. Duke wins it. And here they come on to Coach K court. The shock 8 miles down the road, the shock of the North Carolina players who had plenty of time to put something together, but they couldn't, Nick.
Yeah, they really did a great job defensively on Raymond. Raymond really wanted to penetrate, but he had nowhere to go. They didn't lay a good screen for him. Right there, I thought he had the open lane and should have burst to the basket, but he brought the ball back out. And here's the turnover. You know what, Brad? The crowd was too macho. They really wanted to explode and come on the floor, but it's like a big thing psychologically that, hey, we don't think it's anything special.
Some of them came out, some of them remain behind the ropes as Mike Krzyzewski gives the thumbs up to the Cameron Crazies on the way to the Duke locker room. They've moved into a tie for the top spot in the ACC. They have beaten the number 2 team in the country, 71-70. Shock in Chapel Hill, jubilation in Durham.
Just an amazing job defensively all night long to contain that transition game. And there's the 6th man. They deserve a lot of credit, man. They were all fired up, and that played a big role in sparking this team.
You have to choose your blue, and it's Duke blue and J.J. Redick and company that wins it tonight. Let's go down to the court.
J.J. Redick, this is a rivalry that transcends players, transcends coaches. How different is it playing in this game from all the others you play in?
Well, this game is special. It's better than any other game. The rivalry is bigger than any one of us. It's bigger than both schools. It's part of college basketball. And, you know, this crowd tonight was just amazing. I can barely hear you.
Down the stretch, North Carolina had a shot to win the basketball game. When you missed that three and knew you had to go back and guard, what was going through your mind?
Well, I knew exactly what play they were going to run. They ran it last year to beat UConn. McCants fakes to go down, and then May screens down for him for the 3. So I just read it, denied him the ball, and they were forced to make a play with Noel.
Carolina's most dangerous asset, their transition game tonight. You really stuck that to them. How were you able to be effective in taking that away?
We just had to hustle back. We didn't do a good job against Wake Forest getting back, and we did a great job against Georgia Tech, an even better job tonight. It was really just all about heart and hustle.
JJ, congratulations on yet another great game. Brad?
J.J. Redick, 18 points. The crowd loving it. 71-70, our final score. Duke over North Carolina. A great rivalry in its 218th game. This was another classic from Cameron Indoor Stadium. Brad Nessler for Dick Vitale, Doris Burke, and Jay Billis. Sports Center's next. Let's go to Stuart Scott.
What's up? Welcome to Sports Center with Stuart Scott, who's catching his breath. I'm Scott Van Pelt. Separated by 8 miles in a shade of blue. That's what Mike Patrick once said about Duke and Carolina. As you just saw, they hooked up once again on the floor this evening.
The rankings never matter.
No, they don't.
But the rankings were nice this time. We'll get Rhett back out to Cameron in a second. This was the 218th all-time meeting between Carolina and Ivy League South. The highway that separates them, US 15-501. The ranking that separates them, Hill's number 2, Dukie's number 8, Cameron Crazy's out in full force. Krzyzewskiville U. First half, Daniel Ewing with a nice reverse layup. He had 15. Carolina turned the ball over 4 out of their first 5 possessions. Second half, J.J. Redick, kid's the illest shooter in the nation, rocking the 3. He had 18. Duke shot better from 3 land, 10 of 25, than it did from 2 land, 10 of 30. But late in the game, Tar Heels, right here. Rashad McCants laid that in. 1-point ball game. Carolina, 1 chance for the win. Raymond Felton, the All-American guard, has a notion, doesn't take it, and Carolina turns the ball over. They had 15 seconds to get a shot, didn't even get a shot off. Duke holds off North Carolina, 2 of the best coaches that you'll ever see. Coach K, Coach Roy Williams. Duke Blue Devils beat the Tar Heels 71-70, beat them for the 15th time in the last 17 games. Carolina had almost as many turnovers, 23, as baskets, 25. The turnovers killed them. Let's get back out now to Brad Nessler and Dickie V out at Cameron. Guys?
Yeah, that was the story, Stu. You know, you can't turn it over 23 times, come into Cameron Indoor and try to win a ball game. And so for the 8th time on this floor, Duke was able to win. It was a hot time in the Old Town tonight. We're almost at 100 up here. That's why we're dripping a little bit. But, you know, I think Duke, not as deep as North Carolina. They may not be as talented as North Carolina, but I don't care. You come in here, you're going to have to almost play your best to win.
Well, you know, Duke did a phenomenal job. We talked about it all night, Brad. The job they did defensively in stopping the transition game in North Carolina was really special. And then they did a phenomenal job of getting the right shots and the right people. Redick made some big threes. As Stewart said, they shot the 3 well in the second half. Daniel Ewing hits 2 in a row from the same spot. And DeMarcus Nelson was an unsung hero. A great victory for Duke, but I still have North Carolina as my team, Stewart, to win the national title.
All right, we talked about the defense tonight. It was sensational. There were so many turnovers that were the result of Duke's great defensive play. This is the last play, and I know Scott and Stu already showed you this, but this was plenty of time to set up for a shot, and then clock winding down. Felton on the
right
move.
Now, he should go right to the
opening.
basket. He should have went right to the basket. He picked up his dribble. I can't believe how he backed that out.
Instead, it ends up in David Noel's hands and then out of bounds. That was the 23rd turnover. That was the killer. Dick Vitale talked about DeMarcus Nelson being one of the stars off the Duke bench. Doris Burke caught up with him at the end of the ball game.
DeMarcus, how is it that a freshman plays his best game in what is perhaps the biggest regular season game for this team?
It was great. It was a great environment. Our fans really came and stepped up and gave us the energy. And it really motivated me to come out here and play as hard as I could. You know, my teammates got me involved a lot, and I was able to knock down the shots that I got.
What made you so effective on the offensive end tonight, DeMarcus?
You know, I just, just keeping the confidence and just playing every day. You know, this is a big game for us. You know, North Carolina's a great team. But, you know, personally, I had the confidence in myself just to keep playing and keep playing hard. And so, you know, just tonight, just got the opportunity to knock down some shots, and that's what happened.
Congratulations. Great game.
Thank you.
DeMarcus had 16 points tonight, just 1 shy of his season high. Mike Krzyzewski told us before the ball game, I've had to work so hard with this group of kids because they're not the most talented I've ever had to get to this point where it can be against North Carolina and be a huge game for first place. By golly, they pulled it off.
You know, Sean May had a big game. He dominated in the 3-second area. But really, another guy that was a major factor certainly was Sheldon Williams. He didn't have the numbers that May had, but his presence in that 3-second area created a dilemma for North Carolina. I just was really confused why Raymond Felton backed the ball out. He's so talented. I love him. I'm surprised he just didn't attack the basket. There was an open lane there.
Top 5 moments in this game. I mean, there were some great ones. Huge shots hit by both guys. Like you said, Sean May was unbelievable tonight.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it was just unreal. One great moment after another. I mean, really special. But you talk about great moments in his history. In '92, Eric Montross, he's bleeding. I mean, they're 17-0, Duke. They're undefeated #1 in the country, and North Carolina wins that game, and that's the year they won the national title. Then you talk about '95, certainly the great shot, unbelievable by Capel, 35-footer. Stackhouse had another great moment with that reverse. It was a, watch this reverse. What a reverse jam by Jerry Stackhouse. Was unbelievable. And then the game in '98 was the 500th win. Unbelievable, the 500th win for Mike Krzyzewski. And Wojo, at the end of the game, runs over, is hugging him. It was a special moment, the 500th win for Mike Krzyzewski. And then last year, watch Chris Duhon go to length of the court in Chapel Hill and put a deuce on the board. And then North Carolina had one last shot to win it. It didn't go down, but it was Chris Duhon. But there have been so many great moments in this series. I mean, unreal. And this year, another great game, I'll tell you.
Mike Krzyzewski starts off Saturday by taking a header onto the court here as he kind of fainted against Georgia Tech. And tonight, to see him walk in front of the Cameron Crazies and get like this out of the way of the locker room. Stu, I know you didn't feel good about it. Scott, we got your Terrapins against these same Dukies in primetime on Saturday night, fellas.